So this should, if you've connected your
so it's
account,
automatically going to
yes,
tweet out.
So I'm actually just going to double check that.
Yeah.
And the reason why
it's important, nice, it did.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, 2 of us. The reason why it's important that you connected your Twitter account as well is because it will also show that you're live for your audience.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay,
we should be.
I want to make sure that it posted on.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking as well.
LinkedIn. It's on Twitter, but I don't see it on LinkedIn, so I'm gonna just like crank out a quick post.
Oh, wait a minute, actually. Yeah, good shout.
Oh, that's the X broadcast. Fun. I didn't even think about that. Just like a specific. All right, there's got to be like a. I guess there's not. This is the whole. That's the whole point. This is like a native broadcast for wherever you're connected. Okay.
But so I guess on.
Okay, it posted. It posted. We're good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
How do you see how many viewers? Oh wait, we've got 98 views. Does that mean viewers?
Who knows? Who knows? We're like just getting oriented. Oh, there's like people in here. Hey guys.
Oh.
Let's go.
Right. Okay. Oh, there we go. Chat. Oh, there we go. All
right, cool. I gotta remember I have the chat open. All right, I'm gonna hit post on this link, and then we can get going here. All right. Sweet. Okay. Apparently there's like 50 people in here already, so we should probably start. All right, quick context for everyone. So you may or may not have seen, but I've been working on this product called Inflight over the last like 6 or so months. It's my new job. It's really fun. The core concept has been laser focusing on design feedback to start, like just a way better way to share whatever your work in progress is. And we're kind of in this interesting moment in time where work in progress, like it might not be Figma mocks, right? It could be vibe coded prototypes, lovable links. And oftentimes I want to share like multiple prototypes in one, and I want to have a video walkthrough. I've been using Loom forever. And so we've really just been analyzing the heck out of that workflow. Like, what does it look like as a designer on a team or as a, agency or freelancer to share work in progress to get feedback? And so we started off with like just a project link, like just an individual link that you could share. And it's like whatever you're working on along with a video. As we've gotten more and more feedback from the people using it, we've realized, okay, this product actually kind of needs to work for teams a little bit. Like maybe there's a dashboard view where you could see all the work in progress on your team. You could see almost like an internal portfolio of what each person on the team is working on. So I've been just cranking out UI, switched from light mode to dark mode about halfway through. It's fine. It's not like bad, but I also just was wanting to use this as an excuse to jam with a friend who happens to be, very talented at visual design. So I looped in James. Took me how many weeks? 3, 4, 5 weeks. Every 8 days I would bug him, and I'd be like, "Come on, man, just like 2, 3 days tops. Like just take a comb through." So this is that. We did a sync on Friday, which was me just dumping some Figma files or just frames, basically, of some of the core screens to give him a sense of the vibe. And my prompt was basically make it better. So we're just gonna kind of see, like James did some explorations. He kind of did a lightweight audit of some of my work, and we'll get into the details of like his suggested improvements. Maybe we'll work on some screens. If we have time, I kind of want to take a stab at what this looks like in light mode, and we'll probably just do some live designing together. And we'll try to pay attention to the chat too. If people have questions or ideas, I might even do some polling. I don't know if there's like a native
Q&A.
Yeah, like I'm just, like option 1, 2, 3. What do we like, kind of thing. They say don't crowdsource your design, but I'm assuming most of y'all are talented designers, so maybe crowdsourcing is okay. Anyway, let's do it. Actually, I'd be kind of curious, real quickly, where everyone's from too. Like,
the chat's active.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I finally
pretty active.
Used to say, "What's up, chat?"
Yeah,
Like all the streamers do.
That's how the cool streamers do it. Yeah. I really hope that by the end of this, people don't walk away thinking that we're just a couple of out of touch millennial wannabe streamers who have never really done this before. Because that's a non-zero chance. Where it's like, oh my God, these people have never been on Twitch in their life. Cool. A lot of UK, Florida, Turkey. All right. I love it. We're all over.
Seems busy. Is this like 464 users? That means?
I don't know. I can only see my individual. Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's start. There are 460 people in here. you want to take over and and share a little bit about some of the things that you were working on?
Yep. So
this is the first time I'm seeing this too.
Just for some more context, like this is probably the first time that I've ever done like a live stream as well. So if anything goes wrong, I apologize. But me and Red literally spent like 5 minutes there, like setting everything up. So we're just getting into it. But yeah, this is. Can everyone make sure that we can see the Figma?
I think we're all
good.
I think we're good. Yeah,
I think we are.
Yeah, we even got a cool screen share transition comment for the restream.
So basically, as Red mentioned, he's been working on this for quite a while now, and just kind of wanted some, a fresh set of eyes on some of the UI and where he's up to at this point. And I think he's done such a great job already. Like just putting all this together as a one-man band.
I paid him to say that.
Yeah, it's impressive. So props to Red for that. But I mean, obviously, I think like some of the kind of this was like the initial kind of feed design that we spoke about previously, and this was some of the explorations that I had worked on. So I can like talk through some of the kind of design decisions, in my opinion, that could be improved. Some of the kind of design decisions that I, just generally like to kind of apply to, any sort of kind of dark mode design. Because I do think, and I think we've obviously spoke about this as well, Red, but designing a dark mode is always trickier. I feel anyway, like just purely because you've got things like opacity, like for backgrounds, and then like what do you do with buttons on that when you've got like a kind of grayscale color scheme. So yeah, it's tricky. So this is like Red's original design, and like I said, did a very good job of like the layout and structure of the page. There's nothing really that I would change in that sense. But I do think like here's a good example, like the kind of there's maybe some contrast issues that I first kind of like seen when I first had a look, and some of these kind of designs sort of kind of went to try and just fix those and just try and elevate those from the page a little bit. So here's like a good example of like the kind of active state for the hub navigation item here. I tried to obviously just spruce it up a little bit and add some like kind of inner shadows and just very, very simple kind of like design treatment, nothing too crazy. But then the more I was kind of doing this and the more I was kind of applying this sort of style, you end up like it can very easily start getting like very boxy, and like there's so many rectangles on the page, especially with like here's like a larger rectangle, another one, and then even this container is a rectangle. And I just think visually sometimes that can just feel like super noisy and just really kind of too busy on the page. So as the kind of as I kind of kept playing around with it and kept playing with some of the ideas, I tried to eliminate that as best as possible. Obviously not quite there, but that's like the sort of kind of general idea that I was trying to kind of implement. Again, you'll probably just notice this random like color scheme that I was playing around with.
I'm glad you actually went and figured out the rest of the blues, because I was just decreasing the opacity and I was like, I don't know what the blue ramp is yet. But that's kind of what led me to make the hub blue to begin with, because I was like, man, there's a lot of great
boxes, and that's like and definitely I think that's like another pain point for sure, is when you obviously have like a primary color that you're using through like your UI. You kind of want to implement that into the design not as much as possible, but where you feel it should be, and I think that's the tricky part. Is like, where do I implement that kind of primary brand color? Just to like, because I think if you had just made this, like for example, that's another thing that I did. Obviously you implemented the blue here, but again, you don't really notice it there, and
probably because it's a random opacity.
yeah, and it's tricky, So I think like that was another thing, just like trying to implement that kind of visual, that kind of primary brand color, and where can you add that into the design, And I think that is the tricky part, is like where to cleverly use that on the UI, and so I think like, I think as you design the rest of the UI, I think that's something that's you'll probably have headaches of, but I think I think like it's something that I always try to do in my work, is just if there's a strong kind of primary brand color that a company's using, where do you use that, and how do you use it? So
this one's pretty interesting, like, at the end there. It's like the anti-box concept.
Maybe so this is like, I stripped it down even like as much as like the search, the kind of search element, because like,
is there no fill on that, on the search?
Exactly. Element? So like this,
this
one, like, and I was looking at the current UI that you have on like the actual build. And I think like when you've got, whenever I see that, like whenever I see like an input field, I'm expecting that my text will actually edit here, but that's not how it works in the actual app. So I just, I think
it just opens up a Command K menu that's not
exactly. so it's like, it's kind of almost counterintuitive, So I think that also kind of helps like eliminate, like I said, just kind of keeps things a lot cleaner, and kind of, like I said, obviously opens up like the command palette for to search it, all the projects in there. But can we
talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
So like, I'm actually, let me just switch scenes really quickly. Does this take you? Oh no. Okay, cool. So this is like prod dashboard right now, and so this is what we're talking about. It's like we have this search for projects, and it's basically just opening up still in a light mode, like search bar. The pattern though of having search in the sidebar open up Command K rather than being able to type natively in there, how allergic are you to that? It's definitely kind of the happy path from a design standpoint.
What do you mean, like compared to if you just like searched in the
being able to basically like type and maybe it pops up in like a panel, like basically showing results somewhere else.
I think I think the way you have it, like the actual the kind of user experience of like how you have it already is fine, because you actually give more context. You actually show, like, so if you click like search for projects, you actually show like the projects in there. So it's like a kind of quick way to kind of find what you're looking for already. Are these like recent projects that you've clicked into, or is it just like
it looks like it's literally just a list of we haven't really done anything on this. I think it's probably just out of the box. It looks like it's just a list.
I don't mind
it. Just the feed, basically.
Yeah, I think as long as when a user clicks, search for projects, as long as like someone can instantly type in it, you can start typing in that search field is fine.
All right.
So yeah,
I'll let you take back over. Also, something I just realized, this is this whole thing is a subtle exercise in your the icons you've designed, huh?
Oh yeah, did that? Oh yes, I
noticed you swapped out my icons for the ones that you made.
Yeah, I did. I mean, those are done super quick, but just like, because I felt like we had like the what was that again? Let me see. These ones. Were you using like a? Was this?
I was actually using a library that my co-founder Kyle sent me. It's Anon icons.
Yeah. All right.
It's cool. It's not as big as I would like. Like I normally just default to Phosphor and I never think about it. They did some unique things, so I've started reaching for it more.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
but what that really means is I'm just stuck in between the two libraries.
Yeah. I mean, I always just like, I don't know if it's just habit. I didn't even realize like I'd done that, but I just always have a habit of like, redesigning icons when I see just to fit like the actual UI. So like, I felt like the icons that you'd use were like just a little tad smaller than I would have
Okay.
liked compared
Okay.
to like the actual
That's
text
very
size.
fair.
You know.
It's very fair.
But yeah, I mean, I think like as you know, I think we were on like this one here. You know, I tried to. The only difference between these two here is just like I was trying to elevate the sidebar.
Can
a
you
little
zoom
more,
in? Can you
so-
zoom in a little
Oh,
bit? Can
yeah,
you like
yeah, yeah.
hide UI and shift 2 kind of thing?
There we go.
Thanks.
So yeah, I think like just to to compare like this and this one, this again was just like a super. Let's just like strip everything back. No real kind of containers as such. Again, here as another example where I tried to like, did that actually need contained? I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not. I had it as an existing component and I just inserted it. But now that I look at it, I'm like, that kind of looks nice.
Yeah, and I think you actually have it. You had it like this as well, where like the person's name and avatar was actually above.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like it sandwiched in between the kind of heading and
my logic for that, which I think is now in this concept not necessary without the container, is like I use the exact same typography pattern. Like the name and the subtext is the same as the remaining and this subtext, and so I was like trying to like mirror that because it's like the same spacing, same layout, and everything. But as soon as you remove the container, I like this a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like we could probably like this could probably even be a bit bigger as well. Like
I think so. Yeah.
The plate maybe just like you could probably like center it in between this avatar as well, just so everything's all nice and.
Yeah, I would, because how big this avatar is? What is it, 32? Yeah. Can I just try that really quickly?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I kind of want all of this to be, because then you could align all of it. 12.
Yeah.
12.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd probably do something that felt a little bit closer to that.
Yeah. And then you could probably.
This space feels a lot wide to me. Yeah.
And then move this up.
One of the things that I was curious to see is I was like, how much auto layout does James use?
I actually use auto layout quite a bit, especially in like product. But I mean, for web stuff, it's like I don't know.
Because
I'm just like trying to.
I'd set this to fill.
Yeah, sorry.
And then do the padding here.
There we go.
12. I can't tell if it's 12 or 16, but I kind of like that.
Yep. That's a winner.
I like that.
Quick UI win.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. It just feels a lot more balanced now.
Not to hijack your whatever order you had, but like something that's interesting about this concept as compared to.
I'm going to follow you. I'm going to highlight.
Okay, that's easier. Yeah, that's easier. Yeah. So like you've darkened the background, but you got rid of the borders. Like there's no border on the header and the sidebar, right? Over here.
Yes. Yeah. Again, this was very. This was like the last one I was working on.
I mean, you did that.
I mean, it's
all of the. Oh no!
The other ones.
Light border I guess one thing that makes me nervous about that is like it looks pretty good here because you get the big shape.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were going to take that and apply it to this timeline view, I feel like maybe it would look kind of floaty a bit.
Yep. Yeah. We could definitely use a divider. The more I look at it, I think like this one feels closer. I did remove the border from like the bottom section here.
I think that's fine. I would like to add like a little like blur. I think I actually have it in there.
Yeah. Yep. But I think that's like I think that's like a good thing to talk about actually, because I feel like those are the small sort of kind of design decisions whenever I'm designing like a product, like some UI. I think like that's some of the smaller things in a design that can elevate your design and make your design feel a little bit different to copious amounts of like UI that's out there, you know.
Yeah.
And it's making those decisions of like, do I add a border? Do I not? Do I just like keep it, you know, flat against the background? It's like, it's interesting how those small little kind of design decisions can almost like all add up to you know, kind of almost effectively make your design feel a little bit different. So, but yeah, definitely, I think like that's the tricky part, you know. And another thing that I wanted to try was like, you see like a lot of, and I've used this in products, like different designs on client work and stuff like that as well, where like you have like the kind of like border radius.
I was wondering if you were going to try that. Was there a reason you didn't?
I didn't actually. You know what? I didn't even actually think about it until now.
I totally thought you were going to take over the screen share, and that was going to be the first thing that you're going to show me, was that we should like contain.
I mean, did I try it? I don't know if I did actually.
I feel like you put it in the original, like the file, but when we first started talking.
I maybe did. Like, I think I obviously have this. This is another file, by the way, where I was trying like some of the. I think I sent you this.
Yeah.
And this was just like, you know, really super quick mock-ups of like me kind of taking what Rid had done and just like completely redesigning it, not just, you know, like tinkering with some of like the colors and like some of the kind of UI patterns that you had already put together. You know, for example, like I centered like this in this container. And because I just imagine,
I did like that pattern.
Yeah, I just imagine like I also moved the search in here as well, which in a way doesn't really make sense because like when you switch this UI, like the heading here changes. So, but yeah, I just kind of liked the idea of when you scroll like the projects, you know, like this would maybe like obviously be elevated and sit on top of like the rest of the UI, which I thought could be quite cool.
There's a. I'm gonna share my screen real quickly. Something that you did that was, I think, is kind of interesting. This is a pretty bad example because I pulled this from the onboarding flow where it's much wider. But like for tabs, I was pretty consistently doing something like this where it was nested inside, and this is kind of cool. I like this without the border, and you added. Is this like an inner shadow? Yeah.
That's again. This is like something, I don't know if it's just like ingrained in my mind when I design, or like I don't know if it's because I've done it so many times in the past that I just like I'm sick of myself like doing it. But when I just think whenever you have like a UI like that, like the one on the right hand side, it just adds to the extra lines that you see in dark mode. Like light mode, it's totally different because I just feel like you can get away with it in terms of like the different border treatments and stuff like that can be a lot less sort of invasive compared to like the dark, like if you've got like a darker background, you know. And I just think when you've got like dark, when you're working on like a dark mode sort of design, I just think because you're using like white borders, they have to be legible, you know. You have to make sure that someone can actually see that border. And I don't know, for some reason, like in my opinion, whenever I design like for dark mode, you know, I think like the white lines on the dark backgrounds, just I don't know, it just like adds to like the kind of visual noise and clutter for some reason, which is why, you know, just to kind of like touch on like the version on the left, it just kind of, I don't know, it just keeps the kind of line treatments a lot.
It allows you to do kind of some of the fun inner shadow stuff too, because then you're almost like doubling up on.
For sure.
That's why I kind of left the selected state a little bit more bland, because it did feel like I was doubling up on lines, but I like using the lines on the selected state rather than the container. Also, there's a question I have to address real quickly from Vinicius, which is like why is the profile there? I've been wrestling this like crazy. It might move is the real answer, but I don't like the profile is always at the bottom because it's like that's basically like your entry point to settings and account stuff. There's like very rarely anything too meaningful to do there in a SaaS app. Whereas and it's gonna sound crazy, but like in my head, these 4 pages almost map to like Instagram, you know, where it's like, this is a content feed. This is people. You have like your notifications kind of thing. And then your profile is literally like, it's your internal portfolio within a team in theory. And so it just didn't feel like I could scroll through and see like everything that I've shipped, and I could look at like a timeline of everything that I've shipped.
I love that.
So that's why it felt like it just didn't feel like a SaaS placement. Although that I get that that's not the first time I've had that feedback. So I'm like, I literally told the engineer who's building this the other day, and I was like, just don't like worry about this, and you just need a little bit of time to figure it out. So it might move, but that was the original thinking anyway. So
nice.
All right, James, you want me to turn it back over to you? I don't know where we're going from here, but
I was just reading the chat there just to see if there's any other questions.
Yeah.
Should we do that at the end, or should we like?
I don't know. I was trying to like not get too behind on it.
Yeah.
I think we're doing okay, actually.
Yeah.
Who says don't use 24 pixel? I like that I can show things. What does this look like if I show it?
Nice. Oh, nice.
Okay, I'm gonna start doing that more. That's pretty cool. What's up, Bogus? I feel a little insecure that you're here watching me get my work critiqued, but I'll do my best.
This is like a therapy session for Ludwig.
Yeah, in front of like people that are much more talented than me too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's next? What
is next?
Talk to me about the background. Like we have two very different background colors. This is something that I've been. Oh, I remember something I was going to say actually.
Yeah.
Which was like, you have this desire as the designer to be subtly novel, right? It's like the thing that you experience that with every single project. The thing that like novelty pulled me toward was I see a lot of products using light borders in dark mode. Mm-hmm. and like lighter cards on top of dark. And I've even taught this in my course. I literally have like this little bonus video that talks about, as you stack layers on top of each other, the idea is that it maps to like you're being closer to a light source, so it should lighten. And so I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do things differently because I'm a designer and I'm not sharing my screen. I should be this turn. But I was like, I'm going to have indents. I'm going to use like an inner shadow here. And have it feel like the containers are pressed, and I do that in a few different even over here with like the members cards. It's all like subtly indented, and then by doing the lighter background, then all of a sudden you can do dark borders, which I hadn't seen. And I feel like you're maybe talking me out of it. So how are you thinking about how dark this background should be?
Honestly, like I feel like that's another thing that I struggle with as well. Is like, should I be sharing my screen? Yes, I should be. As you can see, obviously the common theme in every other kind of concept that I've designed, I've went like completely against like what you had done. but honestly, I don't know why. Like I just feel like because it is something that a user is going to interact with. So I almost feel like I have to elevate it from the page, and that's just something that I do almost with everything. Like the toggles.
Design 101.
I don't know why it's just something that I do like on a page. I know what you mean. Like, and then ironically, you sent a screenshot of like the Restream login page, and I was looking at it, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, it's actually like an indented. It's like an indented, like the perfect like designer thing, man. Where I've done this, and it's like.
I got it right here.
And I was like, oh no. I was like, I've gave Vid this like entire spiel about how I like containers like lifting off the page, and then I've went and done this. But
for context, before we started this, I literally took a screenshot of the Restream account, and I was like, didn't you design this?
I was actually going to say no to begin with, but I had to go now. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm giving it back to you.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know, like it's personal preference, I guess, and I don't know, some of the kind of color scheme that you'd put together, I felt like the contrast, like I feel like even this kind of dark background, like probably is still a bit too dark, like like we were talking about how, like messing about with the opacity. In fact, that's got like the Rid's bringing back noise, if everyone can see.
Come on, man, don't do me dirty like that.
Like I think, I think like even that sort of background color that you had on there was like, even just a tad too dark. So
yeah,
like if I take like the original background here and just like, I don't know, like it might even be the borders, like even maybe they're a bit too strong. Like if you had just like the background color itself, like with the inner shadow.
I'm gonna zoom out real quickly and answer a question in the chat just for context as you're playing with this, which is basically like a thing that I have struggled with is figuring out how much to rely on solid fill colors versus opacities in dark mode. And I think you feel that a lot with using lighter colors. And my default is like I always use like 5% and 10%, something in that range as like kind of two shades. Maybe the hover state's 10% when I'm using white. But with the dark colors, I was using all the tail and ramps, and I just didn't feel like I felt like the jumps were too big. It was getting too light too quickly when I got to like 700, even 800. And so I was getting frustrated with it. And so I redid the darker half of my palette. And to answer your question, Furman, I just took the hue of the primary color and I set that as the hue for all of my color ramps. And then I just changed the brightness values. And I got to the point where I was like, I was using a lot more. I was using a lot more filled colors, but it's still kind of this thing in the back of my head where, especially now thinking about how do I make this transition into light mode, when to use opacities and when to use solid colors and how that relates to light or dark mode is really, it kind of spins you around a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I think like I remember learning this from Steve Shoger of Tailwind, and
heck of a mentor.
Yeah, and he, like, honestly, you should see like his file on the Tailwind color palette. It is honestly the most insane thing you'll ever see. Like, it got to the point where like rather than selecting like the hues and like the opacity percentages and stuff like that, it got to the point where I remember like you had like the entire. I think there's an artboard here.
Yeah, that's it.
And like he would do this thing, and it was like a really cool trick where he would like take the color palette and then he would like put is it this like luminosity, and then he would like look. He would take a look at the colors, from like right to left or left to right, and he would just like see what value felt too light. So like for example, like in between these two colors, like you can tell like there's such a jump, like visually. And what he would do is he would like obviously just take the color and he would play around with like the color a little bit more, just so that it felt more natural on that sort of grayscale. And honestly, I remember like some of the techniques like he would do to arrive at like the sort of different colors on the color palette, and obviously on the Tailwind color palette there was like, I don't know how many colors there is now. There's so many, but I remember that took him like forever to like get right, and he spent so much time on that. But it's just a really cool trick to like make sure that the colors and whatever color you're working with kind of feel like harmonious to each other, and just to, like, it's a pain point when you get to 500 600 and there's such a jump and you're trying to implement that as like maybe a text color on like a background element or something like that. I think it's like a cool trick to like get the kind of balance right.
I'm gonna do a quick poll here because I want to explore yes. I guess I want to do a bunch of things. I kind of want to get into. I kind of want to have you crack open the layer list of how you thought about these, just like the shadows, even. Like we could just like pick apart a component.
Yeah.
Because I'm personally curious. And then I also kind of want to get I want to maybe I'll just poll the group really quickly, actually. In the chat, which maybe I'll do this, kind of go back and forth in between them. Oh, why didn't that work? I should be able to hit N and go forward and backward. Okay, here we go. So which background color are we feeling? Forget all the other UI. Which one should we explore on? The more dark or the more light one? 0 applies. 1,600 people in here, and nobody can make up their mind on which one of these is better. What are we doing if we're not getting live design feedback from you all?
Wow, I've just realized, 1,600 people.
Holy smokes. Cool. That's irrelevant.
Darker, there we go.
Darker. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I like darks. Okay. All right. I think this is the point in the process where I say, yeah, that's totally where I was already leaning. But in reality, I was 50-50. Okay. So let's explore the dark mode. And maybe we can like extrapolate it a little bit to like more of like the timeline view.
Yes.
Before we do that, and first I want to get you to talk about the individual components and how you did the inner shadows and look at the values.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I have the most important part of all. Now that there's 1,600 people in here, I have been totally overwhelmed making this file with all of this stuff that I didn't release a mini episode today, which technically I have sold that ad slot. So really quickly, this live session is brought to you by Raycast, which is your shortcut to everything, and also Genway for AI research. You have little agents that can go research all the stuff that you need. Okay. That hurt me physically. I'm sure that it hurt all of you too. Now, James, I'm going to toss it back to you. And can you just talk about like the details of your little component? Like just get wherever you want to point at and just like, how did you add the pizzazz?
I'll drag in the original because I always think it's good to just give like context to the previous. So I think even if I'm just speaking about these tabs, let's put this in a black background so you can see it better. So obviously just kind of obviously joined them up a bit, like as an actual kind of tabular component. I think like one pattern that I think I like to kind of make sure is consistent is obviously if you had like the kind of notification component here, I just think like keeping that consistency and adding that in here is just like a nice touch, rather than it just being like, just a number there. I think like for some of the kind of inner shadows and stuff, I'm actually
the shape of the notification badge is cool too. It's not square. You did the 24 by 20, which is like a really small detail, but I like that more than what I had.
If I remove the pixel grid, I think, does that look better? Like without the pixel grid, so you can actually see the. So I think like again kept like any sort of like active element the same style. So like this active style is the same as like this active style, and again just a good way to kind of keep consistency with the rest of the UI. It'd feel pretty weird if like this treatment was a bit different from that treatment. So yeah, I think like
which is what it was. He's like it would feel pretty weird if you did what you already did.
No, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying like you see that quite a lot where like if you have like an active kind of navigation element and it isn't like the same as like a tab. I mean, it can be different, but like I don't know, it just feels it feels more.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it feels.
It makes me even just looking consistent. At. I guess I'm spotlighting you. So if you scroll down a little bit, like you have the third box. This view made me really like what you did earlier by just getting rid of the box on that one.
Exactly.
Then I feel like it's a little bit more It's a slightly
too
higher
much.
contrast active state,
Yeah.
so you get like the trio is a little bit overwhelming. But
Yep.
even if it's just 2, I do really like it.
Yeah, that was it. Like I was just like almost like testing like that style across all the sort of like existing components that you've designed already, just to see how it looked visually. And yeah, I think that almost like helped, you know, arrive at the decision to just like remove the background from here, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like not too dissimilar from like what you originally had,
but
you know.
It is though. The inner shadows are very different. Like that's kind of the thing that struck me is you did light inner shadows top and bottom, where I did a dark inner shadow on top and a light on bottom. So it like the whole thing was angled, where yours is almost has like a I can never remember if it's concave or convex. Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
Looked good.
I just I think that honestly, like the inner shadows and stuff like that, and shadow treatments is honestly trial and error. Like depending on the project, I feel like I just felt like the sort of kind of inner shadow I really liked, like the bottom border that you had originally, you know, and I just felt like that blood. I think you can see it, but it's like blood, like more rather than the top, and it's like just, you know, a kind of more harsh pixel line.
So they're different values, -1, 2. Oh, they are different values.
Yeah, they will be.
All right, open up that layer list and explain why. Like, I actually am genuinely curious.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, I think I use on dark mode, I always try and incorporate like that kind of harsh 1 pixel inner border, especially on buttons and like maybe input fields and things like that. I just think it helps, you know, elevate the sort of kind of background off the page even better. I think like a good comparison to this is if, you know, on this, you know, it kind of, and this style's very popular as well, where you know, you have no styling, you know, and it's just about like trying to play with the different colors for backgrounds and stuff like that to help elevate things off the page. But yeah, I think like, I don't know, on dark mode, I just think it adds that extra kind of you know, it makes things more interesting, you know. And I think if you can just, you know, I could have quite easily just like left it at that, and it would have been more interesting, I feel, than this sort of design. But you know, I think again, it's just trial and error. I think like playing around with like the different kind of blur treatments and the opacities for like the shadows. I just feel like it's not too like in your face. You know, it's like very subtle treatment that, you know, if a designer or someone else is like looking at the UI and they kind of zoom in or something like that, it's like, oh, right, cool. Like there is actually like a nice little inner shadow at the bottom here. Almost acts like a gradient almost, you know, like tailing off towards the bottom of the tab component. So yeah, I mean, I think like just adding and spending that little bit of extra time just like playing around with that sort of thing, and just like, I don't know, like I said before at the start, I just think it adds that little bit of kind of spice, and it makes things a lot more interesting to your buttons and stuff like that.
I'm looking at this search input now really quickly. Which
I think you actually had different sizes for these, by the way. Like I don't know if I was really? Like just like, I think you had like 30,
I refuse to believe it. There's no way. 36. Yeah,
maybe
well,
I'm talking shit.
When I publish this, I'm gonna.
Oh wait, it was for this. This is 32.
Yeah. Let's move on conversationally from my height consistencies. And not only that, but the border radius mapped to the height too, right? So I'm like have this mental log in my head. I'm trying to remember, like, okay, do I do 10 pixel border radius for 32 height and 30? Because you got to have it like relative, right? Like it can't just be the same every time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're about to tell me that it can be.
Well, I mean, I don't really.
How do you do it? How would you do? Actually, what did you make the border radius here? That's a whole conversation in itself. Because I've been using. Yeah, so 6. You shrunk it pretty significantly. My co-founder like, Kyle is going to be really upset. I don't know if he's in here or not.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's a lot. Like I'm honestly not like the most technical designer at all. Like I think I've told you this before. Like I just it's all kind of optically for me. Like if I'm looking at a design and I see like a border radius and I feel like it's just a feeling, you know, like if I feel it just feels like too rounded or it's too sharp, you know, I just like try and find that middle ground. You know, there is reasons like you know, if I think naturally if you have like a more rounded sort of button or kind of input field, it almost feels like a lot more playful and I think like maybe a good reason that I maybe didn't go down that route is maybe for the sort of kind of design and UI elements that exist on the page already. Like they're not really sort of like, you wouldn't say they're like, it's like a fun UI, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
It feels a lot more elegant than that. So I feel like maybe that's a reason why I kind of shrunk the border radius. But yeah.
Something else I'm noticing right now is like I was using borders for all these containers, and you're using inner shadows for the. I'll just share real quickly. For the feed, like I had, actually, I guess this is probably mine below. Or did you do it for both?
Yeah,
no, you did it for both.
I don't know if I've messed around with that.
No, I think you updated it. Oh, now I remember. Okay, so I had a dark border on the parent to try to crisp it, and then I had the light border here. But you're doing all of this with inner shadows. Let's see if they're the same.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have the same inner shadow applied to this container too, which is kind of fun. I really like this point once it kind of disappears slightly more.
Yeah, so it's like the same. I think I added like one on the bottom here as well.
You did, yeah. It looks like they're the same values as the tab above.
Yeah, yep. So again, just that consistency that, you know, can just make things feel like a lot more cohesive, and it's like a really kind of small thing that you're kind of adding to like a design element, but it just like brings it all together, you know. But it's interesting, like I'm saying all this because like I went like totally different for like the button treatment.
All right, I'm gonna give you the screen share. Yeah, you have the screen share again.
Oh yeah,
show me the button.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, primary action. I think I kept that. I think I actually kept. Did I? No, I didn't. I thought I looked like a shadow.
For context for everyone, as a company, we've experienced like way more enterprise pull than we expected. And so a lot of the things that even this dashboard, the entire experience itself is working backwards from like, okay, there's obviously there's a desire there. So I've been trying to find this balance between, okay, I didn't set out to make an enterprise product. It has to work for enterprise. What is the most like fun and playfulness that we can bring in with, you know, I don't want it to just be like, I basically told James, I was like, I don't want this to just be really crisp and clean. I want some soul in it. Doesn't necessarily need to be playful, but it needs some soul. Yeah. And so, in my opinion, this button is like not an enterprise button.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I kind of like, you know, I think it's cool.
Yeah, and I think it's like it almost acts as like one of the main sort of primary elements on the page. So in a way, it should like stand out in a way. But yeah, again, another thing that just is very kind of difficult to balance, and you know, when we touched on earlier about incorporating some of like the actual primary brand colors in your design, I think that's like a good way of doing it, is like identifying obviously some of the core features and core experience that a user is going to undertake, you know. And I think you know, again, I think that's why I've adopted this sort of kind of different treatment here is, and actually, do you know what, just to go back, I think like I actually applied, so this is like, did I keep it? Please tell me I kept it. Oh yeah, I did keep it. So like I tried to incorporate the blue.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
On like the active elements here.
Yeah.
And this kind of just touches back to like, you know, how do we incorporate more sort of like the primary brand colors throughout like your kind of UI. And I think like this is like a kind of neat way to do it. Obviously, you know, depends on like the client that you're working on and the project that you're working on. But I don't know, just like a fun way to almost add like this sort of kind of highlighted treatment where you're not kind of overusing it. It's like it's just on like a nav item, you know.
I almost kind of want to play with it like behind the icon a little bit versus like.
Yeah, so like maybe like rotate it like this side.
Yeah.
almost like, honestly,
Yeah.
like I've probably done it like a bit too linear, you know, like a bit too like, oh, it comes from like this center of like the container and it like bleeds out
Yeah.
like equally. Like sometimes I think that's so much better, like actually applying it in a way that it feels like unnatural. So like not completely like 80 degrees or 180 degrees or 90 degrees, you know, it can be,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
it
I
can
hate
bleed in
that.
from there. But
Yeah, if there's something. Would you do that for every instance of this, or would it just be reserved for the primary nav? Like, would you do it for the tab up here, or that you think you
yeah,
get overkill?
again, probably overkill, and
Yeah, that's what
that's
I'm worried about.
that's where it's tricky, because like I feel like if you did incorporate that into this as well, it would just feel too much, feel like too much, you know. And again, it's personal preference, but I would always just try to like strip away and try and keep things simple and just simplify as much as it's nice. And I mean, it's about adding like that sort of kind of like I said before, like those kind of branded elements, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tricky, man. It's like it is difficult to do.
Which is something that I've kind of struggled with too, and why I probably would leave it out is just
yeah,
I don't.
it's not
I want there to be.
required, you know?
I want there to be enough branded elements, but I also have been looking for ways to make the UI that other people are bringing to the table the show, you know, and almost be
Yeah,
like this is. We didn't even have a primary color for a very long time. Actually, it was just black and white, and then a lot of transparencies, and we were like strategically using like theming and the whole.
right.
I don't know if you ever played with Craft Docs. You ever used?
Yes.
Dude, Craft
Yeah.
Docs is sick, and the way that they
Yeah.
do the theming is really cool. So I was really inspired by
Right.
that. We kind of moved away from it, and you felt like this need for a primary color, but I definitely at least would want to err on the side of using it quite sparingly. And also, Ogus is quick to say that, you know, it's all vibes until you break the laws of physics, and then it's so
yep. Black holes appear on your Figma file. No, I agree though. It's like, you know, it's not required, but you know, sometimes it can work in whatever in some projects, you know, to add that little, you know, kind of design element that makes things a little more interesting. But yeah, the button, like, yeah, very, you know, just try to. I think I actually applied like a blending mode on this. Yeah, overlay. I think I actually had it like colored, no, plus lighter before, but I just felt like that was too much.
So I'm taking over real quickly. We'll get.
Yeah.
I may not be the best visual designer, but I'm decent at building components. So Furman has a quote. Basically, people are there's an imbalance here. It's a very subtle thing.
Oh yeah.
You added the icon inside of the text wrapper, but if you add it here, so this is what's happening right now is you have 16 pixels over here.
Yeah.
And sorry, you have 12 pixels on both sides.
Yep.
But the text wrapper itself has 4 pixels.
Oh, so
if you, but the way the reason that exists is if you move this out, then it shifts this over. So now you get 12 pixels here, and you get 12 pixels here. But because there's an extra 4 pixels, now it's actually 16 pixels for the text. So it looks like optically balanced. So little pro tip is if you wrap your label text in a text wrapper with 4 pixels of padding, it makes it really easy to.
I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that trick because I definitely don't do that.
I made it a whole lesson in my course. I was like, this is just something you should just do. Like,
that's cool.
It's just
no, I like that.
Okay, now I'll turn it back over.
To you. Yeah. So where should we go?
Let's just riff. Let's riff. So like let's pick. Okay, I want to pull out like the best of. I'm just gonna take over for a second. I'm gonna pull out my favorites. So I want to at least try to make the dark mode work. I've been going back and forth on. I actually think this is pretty interesting with the border here. And it's still aligned. This was something that I kind of liked the idea of, having an edge that maps to this edge, so it like feels like there's like a consistent line across. I think I like the spacing. Is actually, let me just try something really quickly. If we move this, do I still like it? Yeah, I think I kind of like that. So let's combine. I'm going to duplicate this, pull it out, and then I like your play bar concept here. I'm just take all this content. And then these are still the same styles. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of feeling this. I'm going to move this up really quickly just to, so the for context, actually I'll just show you really quickly.
Yeah.
So if I go into Inflight and make a new project, we're actually defaulting to like a gradient, but if you paste in an image, it will look at the image and then like suggest a gradient basically, but you can like change it. But basically, unless you come in here and say, oh, wow, I broke the dark mode. I have to fix these styles. But unless you come in here and say, I explicitly don't want a theme, it's automatically going to give you something subtle to make it look cool. So I'm showing that because I'm like, this level of darkness is actually probably an edge case. It's more likely that whatever's in here would look something more like this. Does that change how you feel about any of these background colors? What are we even using here? What are we using here? Oh, it's a random hex code with 50%.
It sure is. No.
How would you do? Like that's going to be really difficult for like. Would you make this like if you were doing this from scratch? Would you try to make this an opacity? Would you go like 5%?
No, I think like what I would do is like. So the reason why I did that was because like I changed like the background color. So effectively this was a lot darker than yours. So like I think what I did was I think this was actually from this color palette here. So what I did was I think I took like the second, is that like the right? Oh wait a minute. 2 seconds.
I guess I have a desire for this to not be either it should be like a very predictable like white, or it should be a solid color. Otherwise, I feel like it's just gonna be a headache with theming.
Of course. So I think like, you know, what I would do there, and this is what I've done previously, is like, yeah, as you mentioned there, it was just like a color that had like opacity on it. But then I would just like usually just draw like a square and then like grab the color pick tool and then grab the color.
Okay.
You know? Okay. And then fit that into like the color palette and just like again try and make sure that the color palette's solid until, you know, I think you can only do that when you actually have like UI in front of you, you know, but it's you know, it was very like a work in progress that background color, you know. I'm gonna look at this is my current you know, for the purposes of this. Let's just see here.
So what?
Yeah, so that would probably you could probably
okay. So yeah, and this is my 800. So like in theory, in theory, I should just be able to make this 800. Yeah, cool. All right. Was that your intent? Does this feel
exactly kind of so correct? Like just trying to like make sure that it fits into like the, and again this was me just playing with like a different sort of color palette here, you know, like obviously with
which I'm not married to the neutrals at all that I'm using. So which one did you use from over here? I want to match your intent.
So I think it was like, did I use this? Yeah, I think did I do that one? And then I think I manipulated the opacity on this. It was like 80%. But all right,
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make it a solid fill at some point.
Yeah, 800. Like just trying to get as close to like that color as possible.
I like it. This is feeling this level of contrast with the background and the I'm really feeling the inner shadows on these cards.
Yeah. Nice.
I like that. So then let's take this. Let's drag it over here.
Mm-hmm.
And just even looking at prod again for context, we have the way that we're currently thinking about it is like you have this full screen feed, and then you have you can switch it to like a more of a bird's eye view timeline. And I always have trouble in Figma figuring out like what's actually being worked on. So this would give you more of like the chronological, what is all the work in progress. So this is it's a very different view that I think will be interesting to play with, because there's not a lot of, my assumption is we're absolutely going to kill these dark hover states because we've flipped the background. So then let's jump in, and maybe I'll have you steer and I'll just annoy you and jump into the frame every once in a while. Let's like, how would you, the prompt is basically, how would you take this content and rework it to fit into some of the adjustments that you just made? Because a lot of this is using all the indented logic, which I think is pretty outdated now.
Yeah, I think like
I'm tossing to your screen share.
I think like you can definitely like you can definitely keep like obviously the same. Oh shit! Oh, there we go. Let me just drag in the elements, and then I'll.
Yeah, I was just doing that.
But I think like the biggest biggest thing is the obviously the dark strokes, like the dark kind of border that you have on like the.
It's not gonna work. It already wasn't working.
So I think like probably applying like the same sort of treatment as this background, which is not a solid color again.
Have you ever live designed in front of 2,300 people?
I haven't. No. I'm just trying to block out that number, but
it's kind of different.
Thanks very much for bringing that up, Brad.
Oh yeah. It's nobody even cares.
Computer just explodes. Yeah.
Okay, let's go for a couple minutes. We don't have to talk. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And then we'll just compare.
Yeah.
And I wish I had some music that I could like play. Entertain yourselves.
Again, this was from this color palette, which I'll bring across because it's still very much a work in progress. But I mean, I think like some of the things that I would change would be, we obviously have like the more rounded corners, and I think like even like some of it feels a little bit tight in between the number and the. But I see what you're trying to do there. You're trying to maintain like the 48 pixels.
I have no idea what I'm trying to do, so feel free to change.
Like I wonder if this even reads better as. Like
oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, there's definitely something there. That's kind of cool.
It probably feels a little bit too. And then like rather than the line coming from like in between, you could like set it above, so like these are aligned at the top.
Okay. How often do you use dash lines? I've been trying to figure out how, like, if I ever want to use dash lines in places.
Whenever I do dash lines, I kind of like keep the actual dash small, so like the actual dash itself,
Yeah. What about half pixel strokes? That's another thing that I feel like I haven't had a rule for. I've used it a lot of places.
I don't know how I feel about half pixel strokes. Like I'm seeing it used a lot, and I don't know. Yeah. I can't say for sure because I've not actually implemented it in any of my.
Okay. I did it kind of everywhere, but I like some of your inner shadow stuff. I feel like I could see it replacing how I'm using half pixel strokes right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Figma teaching in my bones, so I'm going to take over while you're exploring real quickly. Give you some time to think, and then I'll give a little quick thing that I like to do. So this happens all the time, right? Where I have like a component, and I want to change it, but I don't want to make all the same changes a bunch of times. So this is called project row. I'd go something like this. I'd run select layers by name, project row. And then I would break those components, and then Command K, run master, create components from objects. and it's going to cycle through, turn all of those into a new main component, like so. And then I would drag that back into the page, delete the top one. And now I just have this main component, and I can like make any changes I want, and it'll adjust everywhere like so, which is pretty freaking awesome. So a lot of times that's what I'm doing, is just and then if I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but I want to like create a deviation of it, I might duplicate this artboard, and then I'll run destroy instances. Now I just get like the preservation of that iteration, but now I can just hop right back into here and make a change that will, affect everywhere. So it's been like a year since I've taught Figma. I couldn't resist myself. I'm tossing it back over to your screen share.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'm not I'm not quite sure if we could have like a, like a little nugget right there that kind of like helps balance like the date with the actual post himself. Or
yeah, I see what you're doing.
Because what I don't like is like this line is clashing with like this line here. I mean, I don't know if it's.
I know.
I mean, or we could just like.
We might not even need. Yeah, we might not even need a line.
Yeah, and just keep it like really, really simple.
The small month text.
Yeah, I think it might be the date. It feels a bit too big. No.
I don't know. I kind of liked it actually.
Oh really?
Well, I guess I'm still making my decision, but it's definitely not what I would have done, and it feels interesting. Can I try something really quickly?
Yeah. Go for it.
Because now I'm like, part of me is like, no.
Oh,
weird. Well, I liked the idea of this, because this is going to be like the way that it currently exists, and I'll just show it really quickly, like the prod interaction. Which, shout out Figma Make. I made this in Figma Make really quickly, and it worked.
Oh, nice. I've actually not tried Figma Make yet.
Oh wait. I think I actually have a. I'm not gonna try to find it. The idea is that these are sticky. So
nice.
It sticks right here, and then eventually the 28 replaces the 27.
Yep.
So in my head, I was like, well, maybe it could be interesting to like get this nice alignment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of liked I still kind of like yours more, I think.
Yeah, I do like the version without the line, and I think like on light mode this will feel like a lot better as well.
Oh whoa, sorry, quick deviation.
Yes,
Joshua has a cool idea here. I'm gonna show it.
Have one instance for the month label. Stick it on scroll maybe.
That could be cool. Like maybe you don't actually have a month here.
Yeah.
It just sits at the top. Now, given that, where would the month be, I guess, is a question.
Yeah, I think that's tricky because that 28 feels
a little
very
unbalanced there.
It feels like ambiguous, like to make that instant sort of like recognize that, right away that that's the actual month. But I know it's quite an interesting like.
I know I'm just breaking your designs, but. I hate this down here. The interaction itself feels like it could be so cool.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Command Z.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we could like figure that out somehow, like where they both exist.
Can we skip this part for a second?
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, that's very solvable, right? I'm a little bit more interested in what are some of the other treatments that you do. Like, how would you start to think about a hover state for this? For instance, is one piece. Any other changes you would make, like given some of the changes that you brought in? Like, how else would you try to
I think
backdoor
like
into that
what you
UI.
have like is really good. Like from all your layout and stuff like that. Like I would have done something the same. Like I would have definitely had like the label with like your main sort of kind of heading text with like the profile.
Yeah.
Obviously hover state, I would probably you had it like a darker kind of background.
Yeah.
But again, follow that same sort of treatment of like where are we here? Yeah, like probably follow that same treatment. So let me try that.
I'm actually doing a little movement on hover too.
Right.
Which I don't love this instance of it as much. Oh, I forgot that I'm sharing my screen. Here I'm like I'm doing like a horizontal, like it like comes in a bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that same idea is mirrored inside of the projects too. Like on hover, I'm like sliding things in. I don't know if that feels like overkill, but in my head, when I was thinking about this, I was like trying to bring that same motif of 4
same
pixels
pattern.
of
Yeah.
I was trying to use that over here too.
It makes sense. I think like when it's like a much smaller constrained area like this, it works a lot better. But I think like because there is like a larger kind of real estate where that's actually moving, I don't know, it just maybe just like a simple like background change.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Because the effect that was happening was like, I think I have a bug on this back button. I didn't like in practice how let's see. Yeah, there's like it feels like it feels like it touches on the left edge, like there's like these competing edges that I don't know. It was kind of trending down. It was trending down for me.
Yeah, it's like when if you hover one of those cards again, it's like it's like the left edge of the thumbnail, like because you can see that space increment.
Yeah. It doesn't feel as good as when there's not two edges.
Yeah, I think like I mean you could probably just maintain the same, like, so if you jump back into Figma,
I'm just gonna toss it to you. You can do a screen share.
Here we go. Yeah, so I think if like they all shared like the same like padding, but then you could maybe maybe move the thumbnail like up like 2 pixels or 3 pixels, like,
oh, that's
so
fun.
like
Yeah,
when you hover, rather than it moving like to the right, it kind of like elevates upwards, and it still kind of maintains kind of sort of something similar to what you've already got, but at the same time it's just a different treatment, but you're maintaining that sort of kind of like left edge of everything.
Yeah, but it still feels like there's like motion. I could even, I mean, technically,
exactly.
I could wrap the images in a frame and like do like a 2% zoom even. So it like feels like it's like sliding and zooming, or maybe it's lifting off. I know it's kind of tough in dark mode, but I like that. There's definitely. Is this your shadows here on this?
So this is just like the same sort of treatment from like the containers.
I'm feeling
from
it.
Like, again, just kind of like maintains the same.
I love these edges here, where like I love this disappearing effect on the X side of it.
Where are you? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just took over the screen share. Yeah. All right, you can have it back now. It's cool.
Let me see if anyone's got any suggestions in the chat.
For 2,500 people, y'all have only shared like 3 ideas. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah, any suggestions would be more than welcomed, of course.
Okay,
but
I'm pretty sold on your text. I think this I like this. It's way cleaner. It's way cleaner. The light hover state makes sense to me. Did you? Okay, yeah, you're using that same fill. That fill still stressing me out.
I haven't actually changed the button, but like if I
is this using the? Okay, cool. Same tab pattern. It's nice.
Yeah, the only thing I've not done here is change the border radius.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to do it because I'm pretty curious to see how you would think about it given the height of the card. Like if you're using it's 6, right? 6 pixels for a 36 pixel tall item. You're doing a 6 pixel border radius. Now, talk me through how you'd approach this card.
Why can I not change the border radius here? Am I missing something?
I might have done it's on the frame. You're probably selecting the image. It's on the frame. It's wrapped.
Right, okay. It's on a frame 6. Yeah, again, probably just follows the same as the tabs and the button, but then the hover state would be like 12 then. In fact, no.
It would be less, right?
It'd be more.
Oh, I accidentally have a border on the. All right, where's my? Oh, these aren't the component ones. Never mind.
Oh yeah, sorry, I detached it.
No, you're good. You're good.
Did I detach this? No.
Make the. I'm gonna change the. See, this is why I use components. I'm lost, but. What's going on? Which one are you in? You're up here. Okay, perfect. 6 pixels, and then you would just backdoor into. I guess maybe I overthink it a little bit, because this is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just this is something that I've been. Maybe I'm. Do you think about this? Is okay. You have 32 pixels. I mean, technically, I could have 24 as well. 24. I have been using 36, and then I've been using 40. And I've been thinking maybe too much about the relative border radius. So for the 40, I've been using 12. So then I should actually, let's just make all these longer so it feels even slightly realistic. Okay. So then for the 36, I've actually been decreasing it to 10. Because to me, 12 looks more like a pill. And so I've been kind of just doing that all the way down. So 32 has been 8. And 24 has been 6.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that kind of thing? Does it matter?
I mean, I don't. Like I said before, I don't get too technical and think about it like you know, where you're very sort of technical and you're. I mean,
that's why I'm asking. I'm am I being over technical?
No. You're definitely probably doing it the right way.
Does anybody else do this? Does anybody else do this? In this chat, does anybody else do this, or is it just me?
Yeah, I think here, for example, the hover state for the actual card here, visually, I would go as far as 20 for this, just because it just feels so much better when these are 6. The border radius is 6 on these.
You do 20 and 6.
Here, for example, that's just so if I move this to 12, right, or let me see, 16, it still feels a bit too. I'm not talking from a technical standpoint. I'm just talking
yeah. Somebody get a calculator out for this guy.
Yeah.
This is 16 and 6.
Yeah.
It looks good.
And again, I think
pixels of padding.
It is important in a way because in the future, if you have another hover state for a card, do you follow that same treatment? If you've not got an image here, you know, where it's almost you're defined by what's in the card already. You know, I usually just I said, I just usually try and cherry pick and
I like this 616 pattern a lot, and that's kind of even going with, let's see how tall this is, probably at least 96 pixels, right? Yeah, 120. So going with this type of example, I do kind of like to set the upper bounds. So if the upper bound is 16, and I'm just saying, hey, if it's ever a card container, something that's much bigger, then I use that. I think that feels I think that feels pretty good. You know me, I like rules. Give me rules. You know, I'm like always trying to milk you for rules, and then you're always telling me that you don't have any. You're just trying to make it look
good. Just eyeball everything.
Okay. What about how do you feel about these chips? I've went back and forth on these chips, and like, would you put a border on these chips? Like right now, I have an inner border that's trying to. Or am I using? Yeah, I am using white. That's a half pixel. Good example. This is where I've been using. Pixel. This is where I've been using a half pixel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
A little critique there.
I think the only thing that I would change is, are you using like a? Oh yeah, so you're using white. Is that white opacity? See, I just think like.
I also just to like break things too, like to put them side by side. Whoa, what is going on here? This is set to fill. That's why. I also am exploring a different. I don't know how to do with this component yet, and I probably would make some changes based off of your idea above. But I think this idea of like V1, V2, V3 is probably wrong. It's probably just like entries in a log, and this would not be relevant at this point. But I'm gonna put them side by side at least, just to.
Right. So what do you not like about like this
treatment? I like the style.
I
like it's the idea. Okay, I'm gonna take over the screen share real quickly just to give some context for you and everyone, which is so like inside of a project. This is a Figma prototype that I was just sharing today. Like it's really, I have so much empathy now for the people that design Figma that have to do it inside of Figma, because now I'm doing like a lot of like prototypes. It gets so crazy, you know, it gets so crazy. But what I want to show is like right now, like basically you have this idea of version history, right? You should have one link for a thing that you're working on, and you have all of the iterations of that. So like if the next thing I want to do is some kind of a canvas, and I want to drop in an image, I can do that, and now I can just switch back and forth. Light mode bug there. But it was kind of, I don't know, this is maybe my own gut, is like I think the idea of like version 1, version 2, version 3 is incorrect because it's so heavy. It's not always a whole other version. It might be like me actually going backwards to explore this one little thing to get feedback from these two people, you know? Yeah. So I've been trying to. This component, I think it's too rigid. I don't think it's correct. So I've been trying to think of like, all right, how do I write this? That has then led me to, I was literally working on this kind of stuff today, and trying to revisit like, okay, where will these chips go in the UI? What is the idea of switching between? This is where I'm currently at. Right. I don't know. It feels okay. I'm only giving all this because I just wanted to drop it in with the understanding that like everything's kind of on the table for this component.
Yeah.
Right, I'm letting you screen share now.
Yeah, I think like from like a design standpoint, let me show this. I think Joshua makes a good point. Like actually making like if we're just speaking about like the actual first iteration where it's the V1 and the kind of early exploration, that's the first. That's what I was going to say like 2 minutes ago. I think like, you know, some of these look like, just because of like the lowered opacity, they kind of look a bit muddy, and like, you know, they don't, especially in like the yellow, you know. I think like you could probably, and again, it's tricky because like how many colors are you actually going to have, you know?
Which these are all so random. I have like this is my screen share one more time. This is my approach to color theory right now, is like I just draw a rectangle and then I have Tailwind loaded up. And it's just like every single Tailwind color. And then I'm like, that 500 looks pretty good. And I'm like, let's just make it 40%. And, you know, I just change the opacity. It's complete chaos. It's complete chaos.
Yeah. But I think like, that's probably what I would do. Like, you know, if we're taking like the same color here, like, you know, like, I mean, I'm just using opacity, but like you could use a different hue of this main sort of yellow color. I mean, another thing you could probably do is like maybe divide these somehow, like a little kind of square, or I don't know. Maybe that makes it more interesting. I don't know. Probably not. Let's go back to the opacity. Yeah, I mean,
I'm
even
playing with it now.
yeah, even like
What did I do? Did I do? Oh, you deleted.
yeah, you did like 70%.
70%. Wow, that's really
yeah.
high. Okay. Yeah, that's like a very valid critique. Just doesn't look as good. I don't know what value I would use, but I like letting in a little bit more of that hue.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the moment where I was like, I should probably do that, and then I didn't. And in that moment, I never thought that decision would then be showcased to this many people.
Yeah, it's
not great, Bob.
I mean, it's such a yes, one of those. I guess it's just like personal choice. Like you could quite easily just get away with the white, you know. Like you could, like I think, like if this was like 100% in there, like I feel like that's fine. I feel like if this is like white and 100%, you know, I actually think that feels fine. You know, I don't think that's something to like sweat about. You know,
is it too much if it's like I don't love writing 3 of 3. I've even explored so many different ways of writing this. Like, do you do a slash? Do you do like is this have a decreased
like,
opacity?
I feel
you know?
like
Like is it like that? It's tough.
Yeah, I feel like what if that goes like there? You know, the other side. I always think like having, I don't know.
I hate the different opacity. I have to change that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't hate like adding like a custom. Like I've done this before, where like, so much fucking auto layout going on here. It's frying my mind. Like, let me just like randomly.
Oh man, we're getting into pen tools here.
Oh, I sure am. This is a small details, but you know, have to get right in there.
Pen tool's a scary place for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary place to be.
This is feeling good already.
Like, you know, rather than the actual like.
Yeah,
play with this.
It's better.
Would
you? Now I'm like really tempted to. I'm gonna just duplicate this. I keep coming back to the opacity stuff. So I'm like, do you really want to see? What is this? Yellow. I'm just gonna make this up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you could probably
like oh, this is a stroke. That's why. Obviously. Oh, I like your shape more on this one.
Yeah. Tricky.
It is. I still haven't. I don't feel like I've. This is the most interesting. I think that I like it way more than writing of 3.
Yeah, I agree. I think like having that of in there just feels odd. But
yeah. Do you like the contrast difference? So I can't tell if it's like helpful or I'm gonna make one next to it. Hold on, let's make this white so we can compare. Oh my good sweet Jesus, what happened? Oh, it has a stroke. Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, I don't know.
This is. I haven't. I'm so.
I'll leave you to work on that one.
Thanks. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel that coming.
Yeah, someone's wrote 3.3 is way easier to understand that purpose than V3 because V3 sounds too technical.
Yeah, I agree. I like your segmented control. That's kind of cool. I could, maybe it wouldn't be as intuitive, but like now I'm almost like on a hover state. Like maybe I could bring in, I know there's like at least some set of people that'll say this is terrible UX, but I kind of like the idea of using this space to then bring in the the switcher, you know. I would obviously standardize the width, but you could like treat it as a segmented control. Then that could be it could be one of those things that maybe you learn once and then it's just kind of nice.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I mean,
bad
even
UX, I should just do this.
Yeah, my layout skills aren't as good as yours, Rid. I apologise.
This one, there's all these really cool, fancy design challenges. You know, it's like, oh, let's go head to head and we'll design a website together. And I'm like, that's great. I will lose, but if it's just making a mess with auto layout, then yeah, I could be pretty good at that one. Okay. Ship it, probably, is where we're at.
Yeah, let's just ship
it. Okay. Would you definitely lean towards the full color versus this kind of border? I feel like you've kind of killed this pattern. It doesn't really exist anywhere else like with the nested.
Yeah, coverage. I mean, I think like you can afford to like have this inside the same container.
Doing like, yeah.
But I don't know. I do like that though. Like, I do like this treatment. I don't know if you I mean, you're.
It's just I'm like, it's different, you know. It's like because I don't, in theory, like if I take this, it's really all of this should be 0 like, now, and I would add the padding here.
Yeah, like what if you like switch it?
It would be like, oh man, my border, dang. What is going on? Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I guess, I like that now. My concern now is that it's the wrong, it just doesn't exist anywhere else. Wow, I don't know what to do with, I'm just going to copy your inner shadow approach and just see what happens. Oh, I need to fill. Ugh, yeah, I don't know how I'd have to think about that a little bit. It's like a bunch of different opacities going on. It's like kind of tough. This is a perfect example of where I've been battling with just using too many opacities, because then you kind of get in this situation where you're stuck, right? Yeah. Or I guess maybe you could add like 1 pixel. I could do that, but now I'm like, I probably have to have a custom border for every single one of these, and now I'm doing like a 5 pixel corner radius. You know, it gets so messy. It's so messy.
Like that. This one follows the same treatment as this here.
Yeah.
But I removed like the inner stroke. Like you could probably, let's just if we grab this.
I don't know if you're Furman. I don't know if you're talking about this top option. I feel like if I remove it just gets floaty. Then I feel like this just kind of floats in space, which I don't love. Liam is just jumping in to throw a wrench and say 3 of 3 instead of the backslash. Ship has sailed, Liam. Where were you 8 minutes ago?
Come on, Liam.
Look at this.
Where I know designers This is the real designers right here. None of your pixel perfect.
Ship it. Ship it. Oh man. Okay. It's I need to do a quick time check. How are you doing on time? I'm having a lot of fun, but I'm also like I have an interview at some point. Probably shouldn't bring
I need to run in the next 20 minutes.
Okay. Do you want to just do a 20-minute sprint on like let's just throw stuff at the wall with light mode?
Yes.
Why not?
Let's do it.
It's 11:40. We're gonna wrap up at 12.
Yeah.
And
the
goal is to design a pixel perfect light mode that the engineer can ship in 6 hours. So no pressure. And you have to do it in front of 2,946 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So screen share is yours, my friend.
I didn't expect that many people, to be honest.
I didn't either. I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah, and I'm actually thankful. I've only had like 3 comments mentioning the accent and mentioning the lack of understanding. So I'm really proud out of 3,000 people.
Okay. Quick story. So James and I were hanging out. We stayed at the same hotel at Config London. So we kind of, and I didn't have cell service, so I literally was just like attached to his hip. And multiple times he's telling me about his ghetto friend, and I'm like, I kind of just let it slide a couple times. And then he said it a third time, and I'm like, what's a ghetto friend? I can't imagine what a ghetto friend is, like some kind of slang or whatever. And I said it, and he just gets this stupid look on his face, like, what are you talking about? What's a ghetto friend? Now he's saying, what's a ghetto friend? I'm like, what's going on? And I realized ghetto friend is just actually just how the Scots say it. Girlfriend is ghetto friend.
It's a Scottish accent. Yeah. Someone's wrote purple burglar alarm. That's very hard for me to say. It's too many R's because we roll our R's. Yeah, purple burglar alarm. That's too difficult. That person knows.
I like it.
Yeah, I need to highlight that.
All right, where do we want to work here? I guess just a piece of context for everyone is I randomly made this in a hotel room just to explore what it could be, and then Engineer Surprise built it, so now it's in prod.
Yeah.
There's no real thinking behind it, and the goal though is to be able to come out of working with James. I want to figure out what is my actual color ramp. How do I think about opacities? I'll probably turn it into variables because that's just how my brain thinks. And so before you do that, you obviously have to kind of design a screen. So maybe do you want to jam on the just like the core dashboard screens? Maybe we can duplicate that.
Yes.
And gosh, I'm like, which one was this the most? This is the one that we've been using, right? Yeah, this is it. I'm gonna toss screen share over to you. And I'll probably have to duplicate it and make my own mess too.
Yeah, I'll move it up here.
Okay, I'll follow you.
Sorry, Raycast. Get up.
my precious ad dollars. I got a family to feed, man. We have to design in the context of Raycast and Genway
ads. Right.
First question, and maybe you just have to like play with it to explore. So the immediate place my brain goes is, are we gonna have a white background or are we gonna have a soft gray background with like white cards floating on top of it?
Yeah, so I think this is where I think personally, for dark mode, it's never just a like for light mode, in my opinion. I think like dark mode, you have to treat some of the containers and buttons and things like that a little bit differently. I think like in terms of like background colors, like even like here's a perfect example, like the container for this dark mode container here for this project, like what is the like for like treatment for this on light mode? It's like you can't like add like a white container, a white shadow or inner shadow at the bottom. You can't really if you're going to have like a white container, so you're going to those sort of kind of small treatments are going to have to be different. Again, I mean, you do see apps out there that just go full white background for like the sidebar and the background here. But then there's no contrast. There's you know, I think like for me naturally it feels like better just to have like a kind of off white or like a very kind of light grey background, so that you know, elements like this can lead off. And I think like, you know, I think like some of the treatment that you've done already in the app is well done. You know, I think like you can, you know, you've added those sort of elements, and you've, you know, like the one that stands out is like this, you know, like the slide out kind of menu here. You know, like
that to me is like the easy one, because I would 100% have that one be light or white, actually, because it's like anything that would be elevated. I would
and I think like that sort of treatment has to be sort of implemented for things like, you know, anything like here with a container. You know, I think you still have to treat it that way. So let me try.
Can I share one dashboard that I think is actually really cool, that it kind of just made me pause a little bit, which it actually influenced some of the original. I mean, we're on like, I don't even know, I lost count of how many versions. This is not how I would do a dashboard design, but I think it works. Where they did white sidebar, white body, gray containers with no shadow. I don't know. I just wanted to put it there because it's like it came up earlier in some of our conversations. I'm like, what? That looks really good.
Yeah, so like minimal, but just feels like really clean, and I like that a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep it juxtaposed. Let's keep rocking.
Yeah, I mean we can try. We can try something like that. You know, like we can try and see how far we can get with.
I think you'd probably have to like. I'm just gonna duplicate that in Riff. I feel like you'd have to kind of like change where you thought about how the elevation existed. Like it probably this would be gray. Man, your inner shadows are gonna get tough. Also, the good thing is the images are all themed. So like if you switch to light mode, it will add a 100 background on the gradient. Which actually I should. You just keep doing your thing. I'm gonna get like an updated image.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've attached components.
No. These aren't even components. I haven't done any designing in light mode, so I'm just gonna change this.
So I'm just going to use like the palette that you.
I think it's fine.
Already.
I think those are probably like the light mode. I think is still pretty close to the Tailwind slate defaults. I'm gonna get you some updated imagery here. This is what it would look like with obviously if it's a website, it could be anything. But if it's a canvas, we will default to adding a nice soft roll gradient. So it would look something like that. Man, it's gonna be tough because even like your primary button, it looks a little bit fuzzy in light mode. Maybe my dreams of a single variable mode switcher are not realistic. Which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to like get all the sort of styles in there first, and then see. I might actually grab your I think like, you know, the dark mode and like any sort of kind of light mode and dark mode that I've worked on before, so at Clerk or at Tailwind even before, like we always had these discussions of like, you know, it's just never a like for like, you know, almost feels like dark mode sometimes is like a feature, you know, like you almost have to treat it a little bit differently, because you can't just like get a 1-for-1 on like shadows and things like that.
Which in theory, I was down to like invest in a system, like really think through it and turn it into variables. But as soon as you start getting into like, well, this uses inner shadows and this doesn't, like that's pretty tough.
I mean, there will be a way to do it. It's just like, it's tricky for sure.
What the heck? It's still surreal to me that I'm like actually working. I'm doing my job right now. And then I have like Rano will pop in and just give a little jab. But like you're capable of kind of forgetting that you're doing this in front of a bunch of people. Get out of here, Rano. I'm too self-conscious designing in front of you. You're not allowed.
I don't know why, but this actually feels like much better than just having like 2 people like in your Figma file.
Does it?
Like
Does it?
spotlighting you.
Okay, the spotlight. Yeah, that's actually kind of stressful.
Yeah, it's horrifying when you see that other cursor appear.
Still looking or not? Yeah. I'm really interested to see how you. Oh, you were adding. Okay, yeah, you had like a nice little linear gradient on these buttons. Even that makes sense. I'm gonna keep that.
Where's that?
Like you added like a linear. Yeah, it's like.
Oh yeah.
Like
just
this.
Like the glow.
I missed that the first time, but you have like a secondary layer on top. Just calling that out. Just another reason why this light mode transition is not really gonna work. Let's like pause in like 3 minutes and just we can kind of zoom out and talk about some of the things that we were thinking through. Obviously, none of it's going to be like done in that amount of time. But. Perfect. I was just about to start working on that. I'm about to steal your controls.
Yeah, I've just realized I've not got the right size for that.
For the
like, is it on this? Yeah, like this isn't centered, so I had to like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you got to just fix the auto layout. Wow,
Yeah, it's tricky, and like the in between colors, like 500-600, either feel too.
they too dark to you?
In some cases, like even just like this, like 500. Yeah, I suppose that's actually okay. That's actually all right.
Is this 500? I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You were thinking you go lighter maybe, or just a hair lighter?
Yeah, I tried, but yeah, it's
What's this
probably not gonna.
contrast?
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
That's
Sorry.
4.84 right now. So you could definitely go lighter for sure. This is another detail that frustrates me is like the dark button, like the 900 or even the 950, probably 900 button in light mode.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good in light mode, but like a white button in dark mode does not look good.
Yeah.
You know, like I look at this and like I'm obviously a little bit skewed because I'm only seeing one of them and maybe it would get tiring. Although I don't know, you wouldn't even, it'd be hard to get two of them in the viewport at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm like, oh man, it just looks like that actually doesn't look bad at all. It's so different than what is.
Yeah, I think I had a version. Yeah, like I had like this here, like a really dark button, just as like
This is where I originally, like the old versions of this were all in light mode, and that was how I did all the buttons.
Yeah,
it looks pretty crisp. You want to zoom out for a second? We only have a few more minutes left. We're not gonna, obviously we're not going to finish this, but there's enough that we can, like, let's just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure the best way to do it, but even like looking through, maybe I'll tee it up and I'm interested to hear how you talk about it. We can kind of just riff for a second. Like, the decisions in my mind were like, okay, what's the background? How are we handling these cards?
Yeah.
And then how do we, like, it's obviously we're in the middle of it right now, but like, how do we handle the interactive elements? Like in the dark mode, we had that kind of like slightly lighter with the inner shadow. So how are we doing the selected nav, selected tabs, and then eventually we would get to like the buttons. I kind of did different. I tried different things. Like one of them I actually made this white, where it like is like lifted.
Yeah.
And then even for the search, I kind of went this similar route that you did to the selected tabs. I was like, well, maybe that's a background and not a border. I mean, shoot, you could technically even apply that over here. Like maybe all of those are backgrounds. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I would.
I don't
like
hate that actually.
I think I've made the same background color as you now, where there's just a little bit more contrast to the white. You know.
Yeah. Did you changed it from? Yeah. We both went to 100.
Yeah.
I think we both. That was the same reason.
Yeah, and it feels like, how does this look with?
I'm gonna let you screen share.
White. Yeah. Yeah, you would need to change some of like the border colors and
if you made it white, I think it just feels like it's going to be a lot of lines. Like if you eliminated the shadow, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And made like maybe this was maybe. Yeah, too many things to change. But I don't know. I like the lift. I like the lift for the cards.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I think like especially for the buttons and like the tabs and things like that, I think when they're just elevated from like a grey, like grey just always feels much better contrast, and they kind of stand out on the page a bit better. But yeah, it's
you changed your selected nav.
Yeah.
Wasn't this great?
Yeah.
Are you trying to?
Yeah, I had it like I was torn between like having it like, but I changed the background color and then it felt too. I mean, you could probably get away with something subtle like that.
Yeah, you'd have to like that might work if you did the 50. I don't actually hate the 50. It could work.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll Command Z for you.
Yep.
Oh man, by doing that, I almost like the 50 more now.
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
require some higher contrast borders, but
yeah, I mean, you could probably get a...
you did something crazy here, man. With that, I just realized you made the border on this sidebar 1.5 pixels. Why did you do that?
I did do that. Yep. Sometimes I use like I use 1.5 pixels for my icons and stuff like that, but I would never use it for like
Yeah.
button strokes or anything like that.
This doesn't freak you out, this juxtaposition here?
No.
Freaks me out.
I can tell.
I
mean, I've done that before, but like, I mean, in this context, it probably, you probably don't need it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's half pixels can be scary for sure.
I kind of like the gray. I kind of like the gray selected state.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kept it at 50. Yeah, this is at 50. This is pretty interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really rapid, like just like changing that design, but like,
yeah,
I think like the overall kind of consensus is that I would definitely elevate these cards,
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it could work where it's like, maybe like, I don't know. No,
I don't want to do that. Just seeing that made me realize I definitely don't want this to be gray because this gradient can be anything.
Right. It's
just going to look like it's going to have that clash is going to be so ugly.
Yeah, I think that's what's thrown me off as well, like the background for this image even.
Yep.
But like, yeah, if this is going to be totally different, I would
and it could be, it literally could be anything. Like this is, like it could be a freaking website.
Yep.
It could be anything.
Yep.
So
yeah,
you kind of got to be a little flexible there.
Definitely.
Which makes me think that it has to be white, which then makes me think, okay, the background has to be like the gray 50. You can kind of almost
also
drive everything from that.
Yeah, I really like this, like the white UI that you did down here. And I just think like following that same treatment, where like even just like this gap here, is kind of like similar to, the gap that you would naturally get in here.
Do you think it's weird to have the project views have the white shell if the dashboard has the gray? I mean, I guess conceptually you are like navigating inside of this. So
exactly. I don't think that. I don't think that matters. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that
last ridiculously nitpicky question. I know that it would take some iterating and exploring, but like, do you lean towards something like which tab style do you think that you'd go with?
Yeah, I actually like this. Yeah,
because my knee jerk normally would be like, a gray.
Yeah, I didn't even like really play around with that, but now that I see it, I think that feels much better. Even if you apply like that same.
Yeah, I would do it over there too.
Like in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like, I mean, it maybe is a tad too dark still.
It is
I'd probably
too dark.
Mess around with like the
oh, that's a 200. Let's say 100. I guess then, the decision is, see, it's weird because like the 100 looks better, but then it's too subtle to hide the borders. You have to keep the border.
Yeah.
Which this is the exact kind of thing that would lead me to like, well, I'll just make it a half pixel. And we're back.
Or even, I was gonna say even like rather than a stroke, like how does like an inner shadow feel? How do you? This is like a problem that I have. How do I just like apply that to like this background? Do I need to like move this to the top or something?
Oh yeah, because if you're doing an inner shadow on the parent frame, it sits on top of the active state. It's like you got to make it so jank because you have to like absolutely position the selected element. You'd have to do that anyway if you want to have the sliding effect. So a lot of times I would do that just to have a slide.
Yeah.
In fact, I almost certainly will once I nail this down, build the component that way.
Yeah. No, I do like the subtle kind of background compared to just the line treatment. I mean, I'd probably even follow that same pattern for the search.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were going to go for the input me personally, like I actually like it being part of like the actual navigation like this. I actually kind of like that better. Personally,
like no fill.
no fill.
Specifically.
No, I think it just simplifies that sidebar a lot better.
I will admit that since you got rid of the header border bottom, I'm more interested in it.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably even see what it's like. Well,
I feel like you got to make, if you're gonna make it in there, like the space.
Yeah, it's got to be
space has got to be attached.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I don't know. I like that treatment better, especially because like the treatment you have for when you click that, you know, it's like the command palette.
Yeah,
I do
it's more
think
of a button than an input.
Yeah, it just feels like, you're not. I don't know.
Probably,
you're not like typing in there.
It makes me want to change the text to just search.
Search. Yeah, I think that's maybe throwing it off as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, I'll play with that. We're super over. Like,
no, it's all good.
Man. I don't know what. It was just very fun. I can't believe.
Yeah.
I can't believe I actually thought that we would maybe only go for an hour. That feels very silly in retrospect. This was genuinely one of the more fun things I've done in a long time. So
yeah, this has been good fun for sure.
Appreciate it, James.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone coming in as well.
Send me your wireframe invoice after this.
Yeah. I didn't expect that many people to get involved in the chat and stuff like that. So, no, this has been fun. I'd definitely do it again for sure.
Yeah, we maybe should. This is fun.
Yeah,
I'm like I could do this. I could do this regularly. All right, everyone. I don't know how to end this thing. Oh, there it is. End stream. Thanks for hanging. This was super fun.
Yeah.
See you on the Twitter bird.
See ya.